Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here in the Latin Nerds Network. Ready to go over all the shows and films that get released on streaming, give you our best recommendations, and as always, at the end of the show, let you know what's coming out so you too can create your very own watch list. Joining us as always, we got the NFL in full swing, we got fantasy in full swing, and we got Chewy in full swing here. What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother, what's going on, man?
Ready? Got your Commanders hat on. We can proudly put the hat on the Commanders if we are
At least for this week.
undefeated. So very often you can say that.
Unlike my fantasy teams.
Like your fantasy. Actually, I had a good week. I only lost one. I got Tyreek killed last week. The other four I won 3, lost 1, but I want to lose on purpose. So technically, I had to win. That one.
This
So,
is true.
so I'm more happy to lose that.
There's nothing worse in fantasy than losing by less than a point. And
Oh,
not only
that's right.
once, but twice in the same week. I'm like,
That's the beauty and tragedy of fantasy.
fucking Jets.
All the same time. Oh, the Jets are gonna kill me this year. Fucking A. Gary Wilson supposed to have a good year. Either way, neither here nor there. Let's get on with what we're here to do, of course, and let's talk about some of the shows. A very small week. It was. I know we've been 2 weeks. We've been out. Not a whole lot came out the last couple weeks, so we're gonna go over some stuff that recently ended its run for the season and kind of go over some shows that you guys can put on because the next few weeks it looks like it's gonna be light for the most part. So it gives us a chance
I
to see.
think it's gonna be like next 6 months.
Well, correct. Things seem to get lighter and lighter as releases with the obvious strikes going on. So we're gonna go over a few shows that came out that you guys can go back and catch up on and stuff like that.
Pretty soon it'll be the international watch list.
It may be. Might have to just, I don't know, start watching reality shows or something and talk about those because that's all we're gonna get for the next, I don't know, few months anyway. But it is what it is. The strike. They'll get back to work at some point, but I guess the show must go on as it were. So let's do that, Chewy. Let's start with some older stuff here, and real quick, just kind of circle back because this one in the news because they just got renewed for its second season. So clearly, it did pretty well for Netflix, and that's One Piece. We hadn't finished it when we talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Monkey D.
We
Luffy.
were enjoying the show at that point better than I anticipated. I still didn't think it was great, and I still don't think it's great, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I did obviously finish watching the 10 episode run, 8 episode run. Very
I
cool.
think it was
I
eight.
think it was 8.
Eight episodes.
I'm not surprised. It got a lot of good buzz. It got renewed, so obviously it did it very well for Netflix as what it should have. Very fun. It's a fun show, entertaining show. It is kind of based off the manga. There's pirate mythology within this whole world.
How I Made Tea.
And it's a very fun show, fun characters. It's very enjoyable. It has good moments of heart. It has a little bit of everything in there. It doesn't reach great heights for me, but it's still a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to a season 2. This is one you guys should definitely go watch if you haven't done so. Chewy, agree or disagree with that one?
Nah, it's okay.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Nah, dude. I mean, like, I'm gonna push back on not being great.
It's fair.
Different greatness is defined by different people in different ways.
Absolutely, you're
But
right. No
at the
doubt.
end of the day, you don't have to be, first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones to be a great show, right? What does it have to entertain? You have to have those feels, and you got to have fun with it, right? And whatever method and format you choose to do, whether you do exaggerated characters and exaggerated storylines, or go fantasy, or go reality, whatever. And this one, I think, hit the mark on a lot of those points as far as being a fun show, enjoyable,
Hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
You want to pay attention. That you like the characters, you like the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, and his crew. The pirates are great because they're exaggerated,
Yeah,
you know, but to say
in a
the
fun
least,
way.
the
Yeah,
clown,
yeah.
yeah, in a fun way. Yeah, the clown pirate, yeah, the shark folk, the fish folk. And you have the some of the guys that just barely show them, but it's still interesting, right? And so it's just a great fun show to watch and enjoy,
No, no,
and
absolutely. It's a high recommend. Don't get me wrong. It really
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like I said, if you're not into fantasy, this may not be for you. But you don't have to be familiar with the manga or the anime at all. I went into fresh. I
Mhm.
had really no idea what the show was about, to be honest with you. And I just, from what I hear from other people who are not familiar with the source material, they followed it just fine. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. And it started with the characters. The Luffy character is
Mhm.
great. He's the guy you want to watch. He's just fun, very positive. And then I think a lot of shows I was talking about Star Wars the other day, and it's lacking some of that. It's great characters you can get behind, and very enjoyable. Even if the story,
I mean, I don't know if it's Star Wars is lacking, but there's fantasy where it doesn't take itself seriously, and there's fantasy where it's not sure what it's trying to do, right? Because it's been all over the map with various
Correct,
shows and
but you gotta
movies
have
that.
fun at the end of the day. These kind of shows should have some element of fun behind it because they are they're all fantasy, right? Let's be honest.
Well, this one
Yeah,
this one definitely
yeah,
because
this one absolutely is. Yeah,
yeah, because the guy, like I said, the characters are exaggerated, right? Like
mm-hmm.
the one guy looks like a vampire who can kill anybody. Monkey Luffy's like essentially, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We had the guy who splits himself into splits up the honeybees, the clown. I mean, so it's fun. It's funny.
No, it
So
really is, and
you
it's really
know,
well done. I'm glad I got a second season. I guess I'm not surprised with the buzz behind it. So if you heard about it, and not sure, if you're into the genre, obviously, if fantasy's not for you, the show won't be for you, obviously, right? It's just that kind of show, but it's definitely a high recommend on our end, obviously. So that's a good one to watch. Another one that ended this run, I talked about it. You didn't, you hadn't finished watching at the time. That's Dark Winds on
mm-hmm,
AMC Plus. Ended a 6 episode run, season two. This police, well, it takes place in the 70s. I think it's late 70s,
mm-hmm,
kind of a police and procedure kind of thing revolving on the reservation, the police who enforce in that area.
mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed season two. It was short, but I'd rather be short and good than long and and boring. This was actually very entertaining. I liked it. The pacing was definitely better than the first season. I liked the first season a lot. The ratings jumped up big time between season one and season two, giving an idea of how people are kind of finding this show. And if you don't have AMC, I think HBO Max is still showcasing AMC Plus shows, if I'm
Yes,
not mistaken.
still there.
Yeah, so you guys can catch up on that one on HBO Max if you have it, or Max. Sorry. Chewy, your thoughts on the finale? Kind of, you hadn't seen it yet when we talked about it.
No, it was good. Like I said, yeah, 6 episodes, so a little shorter than I anticipated. I think was first season 8 episodes. I can't
I
remember.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like I said, didn't impact the pacing and kept things going. It kind of wrapped up all the loose ends,
Mm-hmm.
really, from last season as with regard to his son and the unsolved murder and whatnot. So, what they do, if I'm not sure if this is going to get renewed for season three. I hope so,
Could
and
be.
and they maybe go a different direction. But we'll see. But it's so far so good. It's really really a good
Yeah, really
watch.
good watch. I don't think a lot of people may know about. Another one, and I brought this up because it ended recently, and I think we may have varying opinions on this one. That's the After Party on Apple Plus.
Yeah.
I like Apple Plus a lot, and they have a lot of good shows. I liked the first season of After Party. That was really creative. It was funny, a little bit different, and it's a murder mystery. Obviously, Tiffany Haddish stars in this one. She's the investigator, the detective. When I guess it was an After Party, obviously hosted by, I think it was Dave Franco. He's
Yes.
kind of a star, or whatever, a celebrity, and he gets murdered, and everyone's a suspect at that point. I thought it was very creative in how they presented people's memories. They tied them into a style of movie. So season two comes out. I was about it when the first 3 episodes we talked about it, but man, it just never really picked up for me. I was disappointed. I just wasn't laughing at all. And that's just a comedy, right? A mystery worked, I guess, but it doesn't matter if the comedy doesn't hit. It was kind of disappointing, man. I'm not sure I can recommend this season, man. I don't know, Chewy, what do you think about that?
No, I could not wait for this to end quickly enough. And I almost like jumped off without finishing, but I was like, all right, whatever, let me
I thought
finish it.
about that, yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing with the whole season happened the very last episode, the epilogue, where they had Michael Jaleel White.
Yeah,
Well, basically, they
yeah,
were doing a movie of the first season, and they had Michael, is it yeah, Urkel
yeah.
essentially
Urkel. Mm-hmm.
there. So it was good to see, and he was playing the I can't remember he was playing
He was the main
the one who
character
was
from the
accused,
right.
the main character in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was so funny. They had some additional cameos that were just that, but that was the funniest bit of the whole season. That was it. I wish they would have done more of that than what we
Yeah,
got.
there was too too
Just
much comedic
it was
talent in this
just
show for not to do
yes.
well. And I like the first season a lot. If you have seen the first season, watch the first season. It's a
The first season was
very,
great,
very
man. I mean, it
funny,
was so
very
funny.
inventive, and the narrative. I really enjoyed it, but this one's a huge letdown, to be honest with
No,
you.
it just dragged and dragged and
Yeah, I was
dragged.
waiting. It's like, God, it's 10 episodes. Oh my God. And they just talked about going too long, right? Supposed to just giving us 4 or 5 episodes of quality stuff. So huge disappointment, not for sure. This next one ended last week as well. Special Ops Linus is Tyler Sheridan, who's all over Paramount Plus, giving us some really good shows. Mayor of Kingstown, obviously Yellowstone, Tulsa King, for example. Yeah, this one, your standard kind of a spy thriller, espionage. You know, we got Zoe Saldana in this. They almost bait and switch Morgan Freeman, but he actually shows up in the last
Well,
couple
I mean,
episodes.
I would say they did bait and switch, but
It's
whatever.
borderline. It's arguable. I can go either way with that.
No, 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 there's nothing borderline about it. We didn't see him until episode
Fine. I
six.
like it, but bait and
I
switch
mean,
is fine.
he's
Fine,
in the
fine, fine.
marquee with his picture, and we didn't see him for like 2 minutes in episode six, and then the last episode,
That's fair.
we're in the war room, and that's it. Like,
You're right. It's a bait and switch. Fine, fair enough. It usually
come
happens in
on,
the beginning,
dude.
and at the end, though. Normally, when you bait and switch
Yeah.
the actors, Nicole Kidman's in here, so decent cast. Yeah, this one obviously Linus is basically a team led by Zoe Saldana, a special ops team. She's trying to balance her home life, which is a little bit of a mess with the kids, and obviously leading a team into hostile territories, fighting against terrorism, and they recruit a mark, not a mark, I forgot what they call it, but otherwise a recruiter, get a young recruit to go in and infiltrate, pretend to befriend a daughter of obviously a high level terrorist or financer of terrorists. Chewy, did you like this one?
I like that a lot, actually, in spite of the bait and switch. I thought there was lot of good tension, a lot of good action, right? Especially at the end. You know, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was definitely great shootout scene, fight scene at the end, with their final objective. Good balancing as far as giving us enough of the characters' lives and personal lives and backstory to keep it interesting, not just focusing on the mission itself. And this is another, as far as I'm concerned, another Tyler Sheridan hit. He just churns them out, man. Churns them out like butter.
Yeah, he does. I heard his show's doing well. Yeah, he does. I don't know, he's got a flair for this. And yeah, it was good. It
Mhm.
was good. Again, that one I was like, wow, this is a great show. It's a good show. Um, I definitely recommend if you got Paramount Plus, if you like that kind of genre, the action thriller kind of thing, espionage.
Mhm.
It's enjoyable. It's kind of by the numbers a lot. Nothing wrong with that. Just as long as you execute it well. So that's what this show did. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. Again, I did the last, a couple of shootouts that were pretty cool. The characters are good. So yeah, it was really well done around. It's a good, solid show.
Mhm.
I won't go as far as say it's filler. I think it's a little more than that, to be honest with you. But if you do have a Paramount Plus, yeah, it is definitely one you want to catch up on.
Absolutely.
This last one here, I know you're probably chomping at the bit to talk about a little bit, and that is, of course, oh no, that was the only show. No, never mind. No, I'm just kidding, Chewy. We got
What?
psych. We got Foundation, of course, going back to Apple Plus here, which we're fans of that. We both really like Apple Plus, we really do. Foundation, I liked the first season. I think you liked it more than I did. I thought it was very good. It's just where it started off kind of slow and it's very dense, but by the last 4 or 5 episodes, it really started hitting its mark. And this one's followed the same for me. Followed the same trajectory. I started off very dense, a lot of new characters because there was a huge time jump, 140 some years between the first and second season. So you're introducing a
Mhm.
lot, right? And that unfortunately takes a lot to build. So a lot of characters to get to know. And okay, here we go again. It started really slow. It was okay, but then the last 4 or 5 episodes really picked up when things started to come together. And obviously, it's going to be a pattern with the show because by the end of the show, not really a major spoiler. It's going to time jump again another 140 some years. So here we go again. Now we got to relearn more characters. So it's a
Well,
pattern of the show.
but they did off a number of characters we
No,
talked about.
listen,
So,
no, but as far as
spoiler
no,
alert.
as far as well, fair enough. As far as season goes, yeah, there was a lot of. I liked how it ended really well. It's a really well done show. The production that was high. Great story. Again, it's a lot to take in. Don't get me wrong. This is one you have to sit down and really watch because you can't be on your phone or doing stuff in the background because you're not gonna pick up a lot because there's a lot to kind of
Mhm.
digest in the show. And if that sounds that's too much for you, I get it. If not, it's a really really good show. Borderline great show. Maybe it's great. I know Chewy probably thinks it's great, but I really liked how it ended. Just kind of again, it's frustrating, but I understand why. Just I like some of the characters they gave us. Now they're gone, either some by death or just because they're not living 140 years. So it's kind of frustrating. To man, I like some of these people, and now we got to kind of relearn again and go back to that process. But again, they've proven the last 2 seasons they can pull it off and end really well and put it together and well. So big hit for me, man. This is I really enjoyed the last 4 or 5 episodes of the show, man. Really well put together. So high recommend for me on Apple Plus. If you sci-fi aficionado like Chewy is, I'm sure he's gonna sing his praises. So Chewy, the floor is yours. Sing away.
Think you're so. No, man, this is I mean, probably one of the best Apple Plus shows at the moment, and even
Fair.
throughout the library. We can talk production all we want, but we get enough space point to satisfy every sci-fi fan. It's just great. The fight scenes, the battles, what's going on, the technology. It's just great. I mean, the the pacing was good, right? It kept things moving because you have multiple things going on, not multiple timeline, but just things going on in different order. Giving us flashback where necessary, giving us flashback as exposition. I mean, the whole Demerzel backstory was just amazing. It was
Yeah.
just great. We finally got a peek behind the curtain and the whole mystery of Dust trying to find out what was going on, the whole thing on memories and religion and stuff. I mean, there's just so much to unpack with this show. It's hard to do in a quick 30
Oh
second
no, yeah,
synopsis,
yeah,
but
obviously, yeah.
I mean, they give us they teased us and they gave us the little Earth backstory as well, somewhat, right? We still a lot of mystery behind it. But this is dense beyond belief. I mean, this character has been around for 12,000 years, so.
Yeah.
So where she came from, how this came about, it's probably more. I want to find out more about that as well. Maybe to do a little bit more flashbacks to flesh that out. But what we got so far is just great, and Lee Pace is just stellar performance.
Mm.
As Empire,
Yeah.
right, and through various iterations, right. We had a couple of iterations on the first season. Here's another couple of different iterations as well, and so he's kind of putting that nuance. Performance with very very with the changes in genetic material and how it changes their attitude, their thought process, and how things evolve from there. It's just there's just so much there. It's just so well written, so well done. They don't leave a lot of threads to pull, and they answer a lot of questions, which you want to see. I don't want to see things, I don't want to see the dramatic end, end of the cliffhanger bullshit. Give
No,
me a
no, no, no. As,
story
as I said,
and
yeah, any good
and
ending,
continue.
close the loop, open some new
Hmm.
ones, and set it up right. That's what any show should do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, and
absolutely.
this one does it obviously. So now kudos to them. It's an incredibly well written show.
Hmm.
For particularly considering the amount of information, amount of stuff and characters and lore in this show,
I
they do a
mean,
really good
there,
well of
there's
balancing all that
yeah,
out. They really do, because it can get
yeah,
yeah, this
there.
this can go this can get very convoluted very quickly if not done right, not handled properly, and it does it right. And there's no wasted
Mhm.
scenes, no fat on this meat, if you will. Every scene matters. It makes sense. I mean, the pacing's really well. I mean, this isn't a fast action sci-fi. It's nothing like that at all. It's very
No,
heady.
no,
It's
no.
very heady. And this to me is I'll compare it to The Expanse, but I think this is a much superior show by far than The Expanse. And I like The Expanse a lot. So did you. But for me, I thought this is a much better show in terms of sci-fi, as far as I'm concerned. But
Uh,
that's just, for me again.
I don't think it's better. At least in my opinion, I don't think it's better than Spence. It's,
Fair.
it's a different story,
I
right?
mean, it's
Because
different. Yeah, it's in the vein.
this
Obviously,
this
it's not apples to
yeah,
apples
the more
ultimately.
behind it. I mean, this is kind of based on rise and fall of empires, right?
Sure.
Literally, not this one.
Mm-hmm.
And the expanse kind of dealt with the advancement of humankind through technology, essentially, right? And how what that does and what does that entail as far as what happens to humanity and what will potentially happen to humanity. So it's a little bit different,
Oh yeah, it's different. No
right?
doubt, no doubt. If you like The
Yeah.
Expanse, you're gonna love this. As far as I'm concerned.
Oh, there's,
Yeah.
there's no reason why you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah. You're
right?
that kind of
Because
fan.
Goyer has done a great job of adapting the source material because there's a lot of source material to work with here.
I
All
agree.
right, and so he well not adapting, sorry, he's using it as inspiration because there's been some significant changes overall
Which is fine.
with the story and some of the characters, but still using the source as inspiration for the show and where he decides to take it because the book material is fairly dry from what I've heard. I
Right.
mean,
Like I said,
fairly dry.
it's very
Yeah.
dense, right? Sometimes in
Yeah.
the written word.
Well, but it's
Yeah.
dense, but there's dense and there's dry, dude. I
Sure.
mean, it's like,
Absolutely.
and so to the point that I wouldn't want to go back and read any of the plethora of books that he did. Great ideas. It's just very very dry,
No,
right?
this
More
is
more
yeah.
more like a history book than anything else.
Fair enough, and they're
And
doing a good job of not leading us down that path, obviously,
no,
with the
no, no, no.
show.
Like I
So
said, it's
yeah,
inspiration versus
yeah,
adaptation, right?
yeah.
So that's I appreciate that a
That's
lot.
a bit yeah, but this is a must watch.
But like I said, Demerzel is a great character to say the least, man. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
it's
the
just
ideas the show presents is really fascinating.
mm,
I like because looking at humanity, thousands and thousands of years, millennia in the future,
yeah,
and where
yeah.
we're at, and what occupying the galaxy. Not
Mm,
like Star Wars, different. But no, it's a must watch. We don't say that very often on here. But this is definitely it's a home run for Apple Plus. It's a really good show, and I'm sure they will bring it back for season three. I would assume they are.
Well, I mean, they have season three written, so
Right. I
they're
mean,
just
it's
waiting
gonna
for
take
it.
a
But
while,
they
obviously.
can't announce anything because
Oh, of course. So
it may be written, but they can't film
oh no, yeah.
anything.
We're
So
not gonna see this for a while. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a couple
yeah,
of years, I think. So, but if in the
at
meantime,
least.
catch up on the first two seasons. Really, really good stuff. On to this week. Only a couple of things we're gonna talk about, and both of them interesting because both of them we talk about expectations when watching a show. You see a couple of trailers, you're like, oh, they're kind of giving us a vibe of what the show is going to be. And these two shows are examples of bait and switch when it comes to the themes or, I guess, the genre of the show, because both of these were seen to be kind of horror like element shows to them, and neither one is that at all. Doesn't mean they're not good. I'm just saying it's not. But you have those expectations and they kind of swerve. You're like, well, wait a minute, what am I watching? And it takes time to kind of recalibrate what you're seeing, and because you keep expecting it to be that, and it never materializes to be that, right? So the first one we'll talk about, and this came out 2 weeks ago, and that's the Changeling. Um, on again Apple Plus. We're talking about a lot about today. This one, Lakeith, I forgot his last name. Man, but either way, so basically the main character, is one of those boy meets girl, girl boy fall in love, girl and boy have baby, and then girl kills baby, and that's kind of where the show sets up. And now the guy is trying to figure out what happened, why, what's happened. The wife went missing. He went to jail for other reasons. Come out, of course, having his son died. I think it was an infant child or whatever, a baby. So he's dealing with that and the mystery behind what occurred and what's going on. No horror. It seemed like some kind of very horror-esque, but it's more like almost like a fairy tale. Not really, but it's more of a drama, thriller kind of deal.
Mhm.
Not a bad thing, and it's okay. I'm not loving this show. I'm not liking it as much, and I'm trying to take out the whole bait and switch out of it. It's a bit slow, and I thought it's gotten to the mystery, but it's not as interesting as what they set up. Because in the beginning, it's not really spoiled in the trailers, but the wife who ends up killing the kid was somewhere. I forget where she was at. She was for months, for a while. They got separated. She was doing work somewhere, and then she runs into some kind of witch or whatever the case is, and grants her three wishes. Puts a
I think it was like in Brazil
I think it was
somewhere,
Brazil,
maybe.
right? She puts a string around her. There's a string attached to her around her wrist. Um, and I guess as long as it's there, those three wishes will come true and all that. It's basically, what they talked about in the trailer. They show it at the beginning of the show, but they don't really circle back on that. They haven't gone back around to it at all. And I'm like, okay, so the supernatural element is kind of gone. It still may be there. I'm not sure. It's kind of just,
Yeah,
it's a
we
little bit
get
of a
what
slog.
the third wish. We got cliffhang on the third wish, and we still don't know what third wish was.
Right, and it's just kind of like it's odd. Like Keith Stanfield, thank you, God, I was thinking of his name. Who up? He's great. He's really good in everything he does, and he's good in the show. It's just not a show that's really popping for me at all. It's taken a while. I'm gonna continue watching it. I just not sure I'm ready to recommend the show just yet. Chewy, your thoughts?
No, I agree wholeheartedly. It's having a hard time keeping my attention, right? And for whatever reason, I'll watch, I'll get on my phone, I'll keep watching. But this is something, like I said, they've had a number of misses, and this may be a miss. This might be a very miss.
Potentially, yes.
This is not like I think there's another show that's a lot better from M Night Shyamalan. I think it's called The Servant. I think they just finished up the
That
fourth
that was
season,
better. It's different, but it's
which
better. Yeah.
I never saw, but that had definitely a lot more. If you're expecting more of a horror element, mystery show, that's it.
Yeah,
This is not, and
it's
this was
not.
sold as a bill of
It
goods,
really
especially
was.
through the trailers as a mystery horror show. And I'm like, I'm not getting. I mean, we got a little bit of horror, right? Smidges, but
Snippets. That's being
yeah,
generous,
at
but
best.
sure.
Yeah, after four episodes, yes, but the servant. I mean, I've never gone back to watch it because I just didn't want to invest because I've missed the first three seasons. But I think that's a but more critically acclaimed show, which has definitely more of a horror element to it.
Agreed.
But that being said, this is just a miss. I think it's I don't expect to be picked up for season two.
It looks that way,
Um,
and maybe
yeah,
maybe we got a little taste of what's maybe behind the curtain,
Maybe it's
kind
not.
of.
Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's popular. Maybe we've
No,
been wrong
exactly. Yeah,
before.
yeah. It's not.
You
Yeah,
know.
we'll see. Maybe it ends better, and this one we'll circle back. If it ends better, I'm gonna give like one more 2 episodes to see what happens, see how this mystery, whatever,
Mm,
is unraveling. But it's just not hitting. It's kind of a shame because I was really looking forward to the show. The other one that got released, actually, this is this week's show, and that's the other Black Girl. That's on FX Hulu, dropping I believe 8 episodes, 30 minutes
mm,
apiece. There's another one
mm.
which when I saw the trailer was being billed as a horror kind of show, somewhat, right?
Well, I mean, but in all
As
fairness,
far as based on the trailer,
this is classified as a dramedy. So I was like, okay,
correct,
well then
correct. Which
let me
yeah,
separate myself the horror elements.
exact. But this show, I'm just saying, this still show is that way. But either way, it's neither here nor there. So this one here we have is based off a book, I guess, bestseller, whatever the case is. But we have a young woman who is working for a publishing company, and she's the only black girl there. The company is not known to be very diverse in terms of its hiring. That girl is inspired because that company had the very first black editor, female editor back in the day, who mysteriously is no longer with the company.
Hmm.
And the
I'd
one,
say like 30 years
yeah,
before, I
before that,
think. I think
exactly.
88, and this is contemporary. So yeah,
Right, right,
almost,
around there.
almost 40 years. Yeah.
And then we have the company hires another black girl, the other black girl. And so, she's like happy that she's got someone of her ilk there working, and obviously it ends up being a kind of a single white woman. I've seen a single black female kind of thing. If you guys remember that single white female back in the day, where this girl is very friendly, but there's more that meets the eye there, and there's something about this girl is just not right. There's something mystery there that's going on, and they're getting into it. 30-minute episodes. So unlike Changeling, you don't have to really sit through a slog. The mystery, it's a slow build, but I find this show a lot more interesting than
Hmm.
Changing by far. I like the characters. I know it says a dramedy. The comedy's light. All this last episode has some pretty funny moments that I saw anyway, involving a what do you call it, a crepes and a birthday party. I thought was pretty funny. So I got to see a lot because there wasn't a whole lot
I
to.
love a good crepes, man.
The
Come
crepes are
on.
delicious.
Prepare.
I think I seen 5 or 6
Suck 'em
because
up.
yeah, this is the only show on this week, so I got a chance to really watch a lot, not everything. I did finish 6 of them. It's good. More of a drama than anything else. The mystery part is it's coming together. Stuff. It's funny because they introduced some horror elements, particularly in the first 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, here we
Well, in
go.
the first episode, with the introduction of the Curious Editor, it was complete horror, right?
Yeah, some scenes are
The
like,
subway,
yeah,
lights going off, and
yeah, the scenes in the
an
elevator.
apparition of
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind.
she's
Yeah.
in the elevator.
So,
She's seeing visions of this woman who worked there, many 20, 30 years ago, whatever it is. And I was like, okay, that just like we were told. And then they kind of bait and switch this, but that's okay. I'm enjoying the show again. Not great, but I'm enjoying it a lot more than Changeling. I'm definitely gonna finish it. Oh, it's good filler. Looking for something to watch. Again, it's been a light couple weeks. We talked about shows that ended. You guys should watch ahead of this one. Well, not the after party, mind you. But it's good. It's solid, entertaining. I'm enjoying it. I'll definitely finish it. Chew, your thoughts on this one?
no, no, I don't think there's a disagreement. It's an enjoyable show, like quick,
Yeah, I like
um,
that.
interesting character, main character, right? Interesting setup. No horror, and I wasn't expecting horror once I saw the classification of the show. So if I get some of that, that's fine. But if that's not the basis, it's
No,
not a supernatural, icy dead people type of situation. Um, and so I'm sure as they go through it, they'll explain a little bit what happened to the original person, and maybe she just went cuckoo, whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, I would definitely recommend watching it. A lot. Let me tell you this: a lot better than moving. For some
oh,
reason,
yeah.
people, that's good. That show's getting acclaim for I don't know why. I have no idea why it's getting so much acclaim. That show is it's slower than molasses, dude. It flows like mud, man. Like I said, there's some good points to that show, but I don't need 20 episodes to get there. Sorry,
Right.
it's more it's more soap opera type style than give me cut out 10 episodes, give me 10 episodes of the good stuff and chop off the rest, whatever. But anyway, I'm enjoying the show, and I'll probably finish it today or tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. This is good. It's like I said. I think the fact it's 30 minutes really helps the show a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely,
good sweet
absolutely.
spot. Anything more than that would have been like, okay. Because again, it's just slowly building the mysteries, it's building the characters and relationships, and that's fine. That's totally okay.
I mean, for the reason, Hulu does a good job with these 30-minute shows. The
Yeah.
Bear, right? Which,
Oh, of course, great.
I wish I would get 60 minutes
That
instead of
show
just
should be
30
45
minutes.
minutes, 50 minutes. Bears are a must watch on
Yeah,
Hulu for sure. No, absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
But
No
they
doubt.
did a good job with these shorter shows.
Hmm.
Still episodes that's 30 minutes, or it's half the typical season
Yeah.
of a Netflix or
Max or whatever. Yeah.
Max or whatever, whatnot. So you if you don't like, at least you don't have to sit through an hour and waste your time. So if you enjoy it, you kind of want more, and you can finish it quickly and then move on to the
Yeah,
rest of your
it
day.
was very topical issues with diversity and all that, so equality, et cetera, racism. It's very
Mm-hmm.
subtle. It doesn't pound it down your head, so I enjoy that. If you're an Office fan, Kevin from The Office is one of the authors on the show. Um,
Oh, that is that who it is. I didn't recognize it
yeah,
with the wearing
yeah.
the hat.
So as I was like, oh
Ah,
wow, this is weird because
when I see him, all I think about is when he dressed up as Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, right? Exactly. I forgot about that. So he's in there, so he's working and eating, so good for him. But yeah, enjoyable show. And that's really the only two really big things that really came out in terms of what's out this week. So not a lot.
Yeah, true.
Next week, there's
True.
a few more things I'm excited about. Let's talk about that, Chewy. Let's get this watch list ready here. And let's start with on the 19th, on Tuesday, we got a documentary, a docu-film, The Saint of Second Chance, if I'm not mistaken. Not too familiar with the story. Chewy, are you familiar with what this is in particular?
I thought it was a series at first, but then I saw the trailer. Oh no, it's a docu-film.
Mm.
So I guess this is someone involved with a lot of these baseball promotions. I think is what I
Yeah,
gathered
sports promotions, and
yeah, sports
they were
promotions.
hustlers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it and just educate myself and see if it's enjoyable. But we enjoy a lot of the documentaries
yeah.
that Netflix gives
This one
us.
seems like a fun one because I think
Both
that they create a lot of the
yes,
promotions and games and stuff you see in baseball games,
yes, yeah,
and things
absolutely.
seem to get out of control at times. I think
Hmm.
so. It looks interesting. It's like an hour and 20 minutes from what I saw. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
an easy watch on Tuesday. On the 21st, one I'm very excited about is the fourth and final. A lot of shows that ended this year. A lot of shows for whatever reason, which is unfortunate, given the
It's
circumstances we're
unfortunate
getting.
because we don't know what's gonna happen
Right,
next
right. So
year. But
it's a shame all these shows are ending its run. No, but this is one that we've enjoyed for a while, and that's Sex Education. Final season coming out. I love this show. It's very funny, coming of age, raunchy, it's very adult. Never gets too YA for my
to say
taste.
the least,
Yeah, it's very
to
adult.
say
Yeah,
the least.
this is a hard R. In the vein of I don't know, American Pie, but more serious and more deep than that. Good show, really good show on Netflix, ending its final season, which is unfortunate. One that I'm personally very excited about coming out on. I put Netflix here, but that's my mistake here. Let's adjust that here. That's on Peacock. Peacock, of course, on Friday we got a 3 episode event of the Continental, which is of course
Mhm.
based off the hotel and John Wick. I'm a huge John Wick fan, so I'm very excited about this. This one kind of as a prequel. Um,
Yeah, so it's basically three movies essentially, or
I'm not sure how long these
yeah.
episodes are. Is it that long?
I think that 90 minutes at
Oh,
least,
really?
maybe
Oh,
longer, but
wow.
it's three 90-minute, at least 90-minute episodes. So I would consider like just a long
And I'm
movie,
very excited now.
essentially. Yeah.
Hey, more excited than I was before. I didn't know that. Yeah, they're
Hmm.
releasing it weekly, which is the only bad thing. I was hoping, well,
Yeah.
okay, because my stepdaughter, she loves John Wick, as does my wife, so we sit down for sure to see that. Again, 3 episodes.
Which, speaking of
Oh,
which, they just dropped John Wick on Stars over the weekend,
yeah.
and so I was finally able to watch it, without paying for it.
Cheap
So watching it for free. Well,
bastard.
technically, I paid for Stars, but
Oh,
whatever.
there you go.
Then now I canceled it because I finished my Stars show. The Healed, they wrapped up, which if you're into wrestling, that's a very fun show as
There
well.
you go.
Season two.
But
But I watched it. Yeah, that was good, man. It was really good.
yeah,
I
hell
mean,
yeah, dude.
a lot better than I thought. And it's sad that sucks that he died. But
Did
whatever.
he?
What can you do? Well, okay.
Come on.
I mean,
Come on.
when they're at his grave, I don't know what else you're supposed to infer. They're
Did
just
you see a
it's
body?
bait and switch.
Did you see a
Oh, come on,
body?
dude,
Nope,
stop
because
it.
you know they're bringing a fifth one out, and they better bring a fifth one out because I'm all over it. But this one here,
Oh yeah, but it could be based on someone. I don't know,
I
whatever.
mean,
Who
there's a lot of
knows?
spin-offs coming out. This being one of them, but after this one, Winston's a character who heads the
Hmm.
hotel, which I love. Ian McShane, who's great in the
Hmm.
comic book. So I'm very excited about this one. So at the end, three
No,
episodes.
but the Donnie Yen was
Donnie Yen was
amazing,
fantastic
and
in the last John Wick. Yeah, he was good.
and then it's funny, the guy who ran the Japan the Osaka or with the
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo hotel, right? That guy is I see it. So he is always he's like the Sean Bean. He is good. He gets killed in every
Nice.
single movie, man. I mean, like he was in Wolverine. He dies.
Yeah,
He had a little cameo in Endgame. He dies. This one, I'm like, geez Louise, man, they can't catch a break.
he was also in Mortal Kombat. And he
Bullet
was
Train. Oh, Mortal Kombat. No, Mortal Kombat.
yeah, he was
No,
Scorpion or Sub Scorpion, if I'm not mistaken.
no. What? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You are
yeah.
correct, man. I apologize.
Yeah. Bullet Train.
He
You're right. He was in
dies.
Bullet Train. A pretty good movie, by the
Yes,
way.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
no,
Very good movie,
yeah,
actually.
I like that. I enjoyed that one. Surprisingly good. That one's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so
Yes.
and then two more shows coming out to finish up. We got one, Song of Bandits. This is an interesting one on the 22nd.
Yeah, Korean
It's a
show, international.
Korean show. It's kind of a Western, very stylized kind of show. It looks.
So I don't know. I don't know what to
I
expect
know what to
because we've
expect.
been
Right.
on both ends of the spectrum.
I agree.
We
Yes.
have the kingdom,
True.
and
True.
then we have so many. I mean, there's so many bad ones. Whatever. Run through the whole list of bad Korean shows, but there's been some good ones. Some great
No,
ones,
no, this looks interesting
right?
because I
So
like the going back to the Western, right? It's a group of bandits who
yes,
are Western and back in the day, whatever, 1800s, whatever it is, and they're fighting for their land from those nasty authorities. You know how those nasty authorities are. It looks interesting. Looking forward to this one. This one could really be really cool. We'll see. And then the last thing on Hulu, and there's a movie coming out. It's more of a horror genre, so I'm gonna be all over it. Probably it's gonna suck. Fair enough, but I want to give it a shot, and that's No One Will Save Us. Well, No One Will Save You. It's kind of a home invasion. Girl who's in the house and it's being invaded, but of course, it's been invaded by an alien, apparently. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah,
interesting.
it's pretty interesting. It's funny because when I started watching, they put the trailer on because you watch Hulu, and of course, it's commercials. And the beginning of the show is like, oh,
Because
there's a.
because
Oh,
you're too cheap to get your own Hulu subscription. Just
listen,
saying.
sometimes you gotta diversify the portfolio, and that means
I mean, I
diversify.
went ahead. I had to get my own Hulu subscription. I'm not Hulu. Sorry, Netflix
Wait,
subscription. They caught me. They banned
oh,
me.
you got banned from Netflix? Ah,
Oh, you didn't know?
no.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I got pulled. I mean, I could watch on my phone, but I'm gonna watch on the TV,
No,
dude.
of
So I have to
course, of
get
course.
my
I
own.
did not know that. I didn't get notified of that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, well,
yeah. I got notified. I had to. I was like, oh, whatever. Just wanted to,
Netflix was cracking
you
down.
know.
Um,
Yeah, they
They
caught me.
gotcha. It happens, but I think I have a lot of people that I know of. But either way, I think it's funny because when they saw the trailer for the show, I thought it was a commercial. It's one of those. It's a home invasion. One every nine people, or whatever. They kind of almost like an infomercial kind of style.
Mm.
But this time it's different. I'm like, wait, what? And then I realized it was a trailer for a film. Like, oh, okay, interesting way to go about it. It looks
Alien.
cool. So again, it's heading
Sure, it's not a comedy.
not a comedy or a whole thing. Maybe it's bait and switch. I don't know. Steve Martin come out and yucking it up. But yeah, so this comes out on that the
Speaking of
22nd.
Steve Martin, I think the finales this week for this coming week for Murders in the Building.
Oh,
Having
is it already
such, I
defined?
mean
I
that
thought it was 10
I
episodes.
believe so.
What a shame.
I don't know. I from the snippet, the description, it sounded like everything was coming together. So maybe I'm wrong, but that is such a great show, man. It's just that's the anti after party, man, where they give us a great mystery and they make it funny,
No,
man.
right. This
The
is like the
characters are
best of
great.
absolutely the best of both worlds. Because yeah,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's gonna be 8 episodes. You're right about that.
Okay, so there you go. Final one. There. This is the finale.
Yeah. So okay, well then that sucks. We'll definitely talk about that show. Talk about must watch.
Mhm.
Very fun show on Hulu. You guys should definitely watch that. All three seasons are really good. But that being said, that's always all we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, support the channel. Every Sunday here, giving you the best of what to watch or not to watch, i.e., the after party. Of course, Chewy, good luck in your fantasy today. Good luck to all those NFL fans. May your team,
Yeah, no more 1 point
may your
losses. When we lose
yeah, may your
big,
team
dude.
still remain
Don't,
undefeated.
don't, don't make me sit and wait to find out I lost because I could not get one more catch or one more carry.
That's the
Uh,
way the ball bounces sometimes. Unfortunately, we've all been on both sides. So that's like playing poker, you
so
know.
like in our home league, right, where I literally kicked ass. I mean, I was head and shoulders the creme de la creme. It was only close to he had like the Dallas defense, but even with the 50 points from Dallas defense, he still couldn't catch. So
No, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I had asked in another league, so I was happy about that.
yeah,
And they're gonna give me big points this week too. Those lovely Jets. But that being
I
said,
guess the Jets.
enjoy Sunday, enjoy the week, enjoy your week in television. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.